morning, everyone, and welcome to Dare I Ask and the Morning Monologue, where my goal is to inform, inspire, and encourage. So I welcome you to take what resonates with you, discard what doesn't, and please share with others what you think will benefit them. All right, today I'd like to talk about this book here. It's Who Will Cry When You Die by Robin Sharma. It's it's an easy reading, good little book. But there's this one phrase that he wrote in here that just speaks volumes to me. And this is what it is: happiness and a life full of deep fulfillment come when you commit yourself from the very core of your soul to spending your highest human talents on a purpose that makes a difference in others' lives. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. Let me reread this to you because it's finding, everybody's always in this search of what is my purpose. And yet your purpose is very, very clear when you're awake and aware of who you are as a person, right? What your talents are, what inspires you. So let me reread this for a second. Happiness and a life full of deep fulfillment come when you commit yourself from the very core of your soul to spending your highest human talents on a purpose that makes a difference in others' lives. This podcast is a perfect example of that. Somebody who's a teacher. Actually, it doesn't matter what it is. All you've got to do is focus in on your talents, because God gave every single one of us a unique combination of gifts and talents. And that unique combination is what we're here for. We're here to express those gifts and talents with the rest of the world, because by expressing them to the rest of the world in our unique way is benefiting them in one way, shape, or form. The other day, I opened up a Facebook post, and it was a brilliant post. It was like a picture quote. And I just went, oh, that's cool. And I went down to comment, click on comment to say, thank you so much for posting this. And I saw somebody else had commented and saying, this is exactly what I needed to hear today. And I thought, and this is exactly it. Everything that we all do is going to serve somebody else out there in such a way that it's going to impact their life. And they're going to go, that is exactly what I needed. What they needed to receive, what they needed to hear, what they needed to see. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is going to be perfect for somebody out there. So there's another quote that he says right after it, and it says, put simply, the purpose of life is a life of purpose. So the purpose of life is a life of purpose. It means whatever you're doing it purposefully. You are intentionally expressing yourself with the intention of serving others. This is what it is. So, and then again, of course, boom, it hits me, this whole thing of what we did last year with this toy that you find in every toy store in the world. But it was the whole message behind what we did with this. So my son started a company called Cuber's Corner, and I actually bribed him. Okay, I bribed him one day. My daughter was starting university. I needed to set up her apartment. Because I homeschool, I needed Riley to be doing some sort of lesson. I had no time to prepare any type of lesson for him or anything like that. So I said, you know what? I tossed him a cube, okay, a cube that he'd had in his drawer for years. I picked it up, I tossed it to him, and I said, teach yourself how to solve it, and there's $50 in it for you. And, you know, with the hope that he would teach himself it. But you know what, who knows? But I do know Riley, and I know he's stubborn, and I know he likes money. So I thought, you know what, this might just work, and it'll buy me some time so I could finish setting up my daughter's apartment. It took him 2 days, 6 hours a day. He was sitting there going through website after website, podcasts, YouTubes, whatever he could. He taught himself. And the moment he got it solved, his face, I will never, ever, ever forget this. His face, he went, Mama, every child should know how to solve this and feel what this feels like. And the second he said that, my head just went, pow. He's onto something there. He is totally onto something there. And that was the birthing moment of Cuber's Corner. So that went on from just, literally a bribery. We're not supposed to bribe our kids, but you know what? Hey, I'm not beneath bribing my kids. I'm not above bribing my kids. What started out as a bribery, because I needed to buy myself some time, started out on this huge mission that is still ongoing. And it has literally become a purpose. I know, Riley it's with him. It's right now, it's a kind of like a love-hate relationship, because we literally invested 12 hours a day. We were in schools for 6 hours a day. We've gone around to, I don't know how many schools. We've taught thousands of kids, teachers, principals. He's been on national television, interviewed twice. He's been on a national radio station. I mean, this has become a huge part of all of our lives. Both myself and my daughter, we all supported him in this venture. It became a life purpose. And it's amazing because part of this whole episode and his whole program that he created, including slideshow presentations, video slides, PDFs. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours we've all spent creating this all-encompassing program. But the more we did it, we realized, my gosh, like the gifts that this is giving to kids and to teachers, anybody actually, and to adults. Hello. When you learn how to solve one of these, you kind of feel like you feel pretty accomplished, like you really do. So it's become this huge, it's become an entity of its own, a life force of its own. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And I, for one, stand behind this 110%, because as we were going through the process of this, again, remember, this all started as a bribe. I selfishly needed time. I needed him to be preoccupied without being on a video game or, whatever, watching a movie or something like that. I needed him doing something constructive. So it was very self-serving. But where this is morphed into this incredible, it has grown and blossomed into this incredible life of its own. Because as we were going through the stages of this, he started by that one statement of, every child should know what this feels like. We saw that repeatedly. We saw classrooms of kids learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube. The cheers, I mean, classes were hearing it down the hallway, the cheers of joy of excitement, of this euphoric, yes, I did it. You know, after weeks, 4 weeks, we would spend with the class, right? An hour a week for 4 weeks. And we did this all day long at schools. It, like literally, it was absolutely incredible. So, I mean, we saw this grow into something that just every day we're reinforced with the feeling of, my gosh, this is so important. So important. Now, with COVID, everything is shut down. Now the program is going online. So it hasn't ended, right? And this is the whole thing. Happiness. And honestly, happiness. Like, I mean, if you don't think Riley got a kick out of being on national television, sure, he was nervous, absolutely nervous, but hello, who doesn't want to be interviewed by one of the largest global TV stations, right? Cable TV stations. Yeah, that's fun. Happiness and life of deep fulfillment come when you commit yourself. And trust me, this was a commitment. Now, I'm going to give you kind of like the behind the scenes here. So, yes, we committed, we created the program. And synchronicities started happening, and that's when you know you're on the path that you're meant to be on. I said to Riley, I said, what age group do you want to teach first? And he said, well, he goes, I'm too nervous to teach my own age group because I'd rather, you know, kind of grade 4, grade 5. I said, you know what? Perfect. I think that's a perfect age group. All we did was have that discussion. He said grade 4, grade 5. I was actually taking care of this woman's son, babysitting him because she had to go out of town. Little did we know that her boyfriend, when he came home, we got to chatting. He's like, oh, what are you guys working on? So we were explaining it. And I said, oh, so what do you do? And he goes, oh, I'm a teacher. I said, oh, cool. What do you teach? He said, grade 5. I kid you not. I absolutely kid you not. You want to talk about synchronicities. And when you follow your life purpose, how everything falls into place without you having to swim upstream or push the universe to make it happen. It just happens. So we left there. Riley was freaking out. Like, I mean, nervous, like you have no idea, because this guy, so we told him what we were doing. He's like, can you come to my class? I would love my kids to learn this. I said, absolutely. Riley's like, sure. We got back in the car. We were driving home, freaking out. He's like, this is happening a little bit too fast. I said, this is the universe, my dear. This is the universe supporting you in what you are willing to commit to. Are you willing to commit? He was nervous. He had to think about it. It's a big commitment. So fast forward in the story, and it says here, happiness and life and deep fulfillment come when you're standing in front of a classroom of 30 kids. For the first time, your knees are shaking. I'm sure every single teacher that walked into their very first classroom can agree with this. Nervous, like you have no idea nervous. I went and I got every single homeopathic remedy that I could find that supported nerves and anxiety. Every single one, because I knew he needed it. I needed it. We all needed it because we were totally scared. But there was no way that from my end, I was going to let fear stop him from feeling that incredible fulfillment, that sense of achievement, sense of accomplishment. And I wasn't going to let him, of course, he could have pulled the plug at any moment. And you know what? We were this close many times because he was so scared. Now, and I just kept saying to him, there's nothing wrong with being scared. Own your fear. Own it. Recognize it. Don't let it control you, though. And that was one of the biggest life lessons. Biggest life lessons. Huge lesson for all of us. All of us. My daughter, I know she was nervous. She doesn't show it as much, but I know she was. But the benefits that she got out of participating in this, getting up in front of a classroom, teaching these lessons for 6 hours a day, she went back to university the next term or whatever it was, and she was in a course where she had to do presentations. She said, hands down, that experience of teaching those kids absolutely improved my presentations for university. Do you see the win, 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 win everywhere? It's incredible. So let's go back to this here. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. A life of purpose. Happiness doesn't come from finding the most beautiful wife or finding the most handsome husband or making the most money in a job. That is all shallow. That's all surfacey. True happiness comes when you take your God-given talents and you put it to good use serving others. That's happiness. That's when you will feel like you are strutting your stuff. You're pumped with true joy. True joy. Absolute. And that joy just gives you absolute happiness and fulfillment. Doesn't necessarily mean the journey is easy all the time, because I'm telling you, hands down, it's not. But when you overcome every hurdle, every obstacle that you overcome, you will feel true joy. You'll be connected to your purpose. And being connected to your purpose will give you that push to overcome that next hurdle. Absolutely, guys. So, in case anybody's interested, the program is called Cuber's Corner. It is on YouTube. He's got his website. It's called cuberscornerclub.com, which we're in the middle of revamping right now. And yeah, guys, you have no idea where things can lead. When you are authentically following what you're meant to do, things will just fall into place. And as long as you don't deny it, face the fear and do it anyway. That's a topic for another discussion, but that's it. You face the fear, you do it anyway. And you serve yourself as well as serving others. So that's it for today. Please hit the like button, share with everybody that you think will be of service to this. I highly recommend picking up the book, The Purpose of Life. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. And that purpose you will find in your talents. That's where it all lies. So blessings, have a great one, and I will talk with you later. Take care. Bye.